You join me with a power supply and a AMD AM3 motherboard that has a quad-core Phenom processor on it. And today I want to show you something that is new to me, something I learned. And I've been messing around with computers since our first 486 DX266 in 1995. Which by my calculations is 30 years ago. This is pretty interesting. Let me hook up this power supply. This is an iSonic 400 watt. It did receive a kind of bent at some stage. It's a bit bent in here, but otherwise solid. Feels a bit lightish, but all of these power supplies did. So let me hook it up and we can fire up this board. Right, so we're ready to go. Power supply is hooked up. We have RAM, we have VGA connected. I got PS2 for the keyboard. Let me switch on the HP monitor we are going to be using. There we go, searching for signals on VGA and DVI. I have my PC speaker connected so we can get any error beeps. Let's power this on. If you listen, it's not going to show up on camera because of the fan noise, but the PC speaker is making these faint gurgling noises. The fan just ramps up and nothing happens. Now this board is very fancy. It's got an onboard HD 4200 Radeon with sideboard memory. It's peeking out just from right there. There's a 128 meg module. There it goes again. It's gargling, almost static, like if you listen to a radio that's off station. Now, what was interesting to me is I messed around with this board and I had it running with a PCI graphics card. Now this PCI graphics card is not working. If you plug it in, I had it running in or installed in a PC with Debian. It shows up in LSPCI, but there's no display output. And as soon as you call the AMD VB Flash utility to enumerate all your devices, it doesn't find any. So this thing is very much dead apart from identifying itself as being a VGA card. Probably good if you want to run a headless computer somewhere and not have a boot issue. But with this card installed, VGA is still connected to onboard. If I switch on this computer, it beeps and display is rendered through the onboard graphics. See, it's even remembering the clock and everything. That's really strange. That got me thinking maybe there's something busted with this onboard graphics here in the North Bridge. Initially I thought it was the sideboard memory, so I played around with the UMA, the shared system memory, and the onboard memory, and I couldn't find anything wrong with it. And as I was messing around, I thought, let me try something else. So watch what happens now if we go here into the hardware monitor. That's the first time I see red in the hardware monitor, and just watch what our 3.3 volt and 5 volt rail is doing. It's hopping around pretty much. We basically have red on the 3.3 volt rail because it's way out of spec. That's more than 10% up and 10% below. That got me thinking, what if I just try another power supply? So out goes our 400 watt ISO power, which doesn't weigh a lot. I'll do a weight comparison later. And in comes a mere 264 watt Delta power supply. This thing feels like it's almost double the weight of the ISO power. It's from a Dell, but thankfully, unlike other OEM power supplies, this one does actually have standard ATX connectors, albeit with shorter cables to fit the Dell case it was installed in. Don't know what one it was, I just bought it as is. So now I take out this PCI graphics card, which is very dead. Let's give this Dell power. Oop, get that out of there. And it just boots. We go into the BIOS. Let's go check out our hardware monitor. Yeah, all is well. So as I started out with this video saying I've been messing around with computers for 30 years, this is the first time I see a power supply being so irregular and misbehaving that it causes a machine not to boot, that you actually have to apply extra load on it. And this card is not going to be applying a lot of load on it, but it probably added just enough load on just the right voltage rail to get it to actually boot. Very interesting. Now, if you want to see more of this motherboard and a few other boards that I got in the same bundle as that CD-ROM we looked at last week, then be sure to check out my future videos whenever they come out. Thanks very much for watching.